Keep yourself in the loop of everything football on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. The latest news on and off the field, be it college football, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC to the NFL. We've got you covered. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? It is time for the GSMC Football Podcast. I am your host, as always, Jeff Malinoff, and with me is my friend, I think. Are you my friend?
No. Absolutely not.
My friend? He's my friend in my heart. Mark Souza.
Mm-hmm.
He's my friend. That's my friend right there.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you, friend?
I'm good.
I don't have a lot of friends.
I'm good. I'm a little, I guess, upset about this whole Josh Gordon situation.
Yes. We are going to start. That's our first topic of discussion is the Josh Gordon situation, as well as we're going to be talking about the Pro Bowl selections, who got snubbed, who got in, who deserves it, who doesn't. We're going to do our power rankings, but our special top 10 power rankings. We will not do our bottom 5 because we already know who's in our bottom 5. And any news, tips, chicks, and corpse we need to discuss at the end of the segments, we will. But first, let's talk about Josh Gordon. He has left the New England Patriots and has violated the reinstatement from the NFL and will be suspended indefinitely. But I don't think that will matter because he's most likely going never to play in the NFL again, because that's what many people are speculating. He said on Twitter he is worried about his mental health and is going to worry about that. He thanked the New England Patriots, Kraft, Belichick, and the whole team for what they did for him, for trading for him, and playing him. But there's something bigger in this than we know, and obviously he knows it too. But many speculate he will never play in the NFL again, and I happen to agree. Would you, Mark?
Yeah, I don't think he's ever playing again for sure.
This is his second time doing this? Second time leaving?
2013, he was suspended 2 games for substance abuse.
But he was gone longer than that.
He was suspended for a season for substance abuse. 2014, he was suspended for 1 game for violation of team rules. 2015, suspended indefinitely for substance abuse. 20 games was that actual length of suspension. So now he has been suspended indefinitely for the second time. This is now the 4th time he's been suspended for substance abuse in total, not counting the violation of team rules and other smaller things like that. But just this in particular, he has been suspended now 4 times. The last time he was suspended indefinitely, he missed 20 games. I can't see him missing less than a full 16-game season next year, plus the remainder of this year. So even if we say that he'll be back at some point, I say 2020 is the earliest, to be quite honest with you. I know that sounds like a long time, but if we're looking at his last suspension of 20 games, that's over a year, you got to think it'd be at least that, which would be 2020.
Yeah, and who knows? That's 2 years from now, and obviously...
And that's only if he's allowed to come back. Like that, he probably won't be.
I can see a permanent ban for him, a lifetime ban.
I don't think they'll lifetime ban him unless he was to do something like bet on sport, like bet on football.
Well, it'll
like
basically it won't be considered a lifetime ban, but it would be a
people like. I get it, he's screwing himself over, but
it will. I don't think they'll call it a lifetime ban, but that's probably what it will be in the serious terms.
I think there will be a spot for him in the NFL when he is reinstated, though. I mean, some team will take a chance on because we've seen his electric talent when he's been able to be on the field.
It would be a big question mark.
Even this year, I thought he was good. He wasn't spectacular, but he
got the job done.
Yeah, I mean, He had 40 catches for 720 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Patriots. I believe that was in 10 games.
Yeah,
that
but
he played.
I don't know. I would if I was a front office guy, I would be seriously. I would seriously consider not signing him. Just like when someone say, "Hey, maybe we should sign this guy," I would not want to risk it. Honestly, I would be very conservative.
I'd
about
sign him
this.
for the minimum and bring him in. He's still young, which is crazy.
Yeah, it just seems more along the lines of there's too much baggage with him, you know.
I mean, I'd rather take a chance on him than like a guy like Des Bryant, who's like older, coming off like a big injury. Like Gordon's got a lot more upside, but again, we're talking about in 2 years. Like, we'll see how I feel about it in 2 years because he's not playing next year. I would be shocked. I would literally be floored if he played football before 2020.
Yes, and that year sounds so much like what's the word I'm looking for? It sounds so much futuristically. Like 2020 sounds like such a future.
Sounds pretty cool though, huh?
Yeah, and
2020, bro. 2020.
that's
vision.
only 2 years from now.
It's actually only like a year and 10 days.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Kind of weird.
It is really weird.
So let's talk about how this affects the Patriots and their chances of winning the Super Bowl this year, because now they all of a sudden have a hole in their starting receiving core.
I don't think it's that big of a hole, though, to be honest with you.
You really?
Yes.
Tell me why you feel that way.
I feel because the Patriots are the best in the world at adapting to what they have on their team. And this is the same situation in where I just see in the fact that the Patriots are still going to be a contender. They're still going to be a threat, big a threat in the playoffs, even though they've been sort of playing bad, like they haven't played as good as they have been in the past. They're still, the Patriots. I can't explain it. Belichick is so good at putting at his best players in the game. When he knows how to get the best out of everything he has on the team.
Would you say that this has no effect on their chances or a minimal effect on their chances?
Minimal.
Okay.
It will affect them, granted. Losing Josh Gordon is still a factor. But Belichick is so good at adapting to these kind of situations, they will be fine.
And as for the AFC, where are they in your AFC ranking in terms of chances to win the Super Bowl?
I'm going to say Chargers 1, Patriots 2nd, Chiefs 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then...
Because I feel like Kareem Hunt is a bigger loss than Josh Gordon.
And then who? After
I would say the Texans at 4.
And then... And then...
Well, no one's really
You ever
clinched
seen the
after
movie
that.
Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
When they're in the drive-thru and the lady's like, and then...
Oh, and then he beats up...
No, and then...
Then he... Yeah, that's
no,
it.
and then...
What was she trying? Was she trying to say something else, or was she?
No, because he was ordering, and she's like, and then...
Yeah, and he was like, that should do it. And then...
No, and then... All right, anyways.
I don't understand why she was saying that, but whatever. But anyways, and then he beat... That was a cool-looking drive-thru, too. The little box was a Chinese go-to-go box. I like that.
All right, so you have Steelers where? 5th?
If they
or
didn't...
6th?
I don't even have... Like,
or 50th?
I have them, 6th. I don't see them going... they've been playing so bad.
Who has a better chance at winning the Super Bowl? Not to stray off topic. The Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens?
That's a tough one. I would honestly... You're not going to agree with this. I'm picking Baltimore.
Yeah, I will probably slap you, but I'll wait till break.
Wow, really? The number one defense, and you're going to say slap
honestly
me?
Slap you across the...
I'm sorry, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Across the GD face.
How is the Baltimore Ravens such a awful
Trent Dilfer
choice?
did win a Super Bowl. You're right, he did.
The team was number one defense in the league. This team is number one defense in the league. So that makes sense.
Defense also gave up 11 points per game.
Yeah, I understand that defense was...
That was probably the greatest defense of all time.
Yes, it's up there with the greatest defense of all time. I
would
get that.
say it was.
But
yeah.
when you're the number one defense of the league, you're the best defense in the league. So why are you ruling them ahead of the 7-5-1 Steelers? Or whatever rank.
Well, if they were so good, why don't they have a better record than the Steelers to first off?
Probably a tougher schedule.
Probably. They play the same schedule.
Minus
Minus one game, 2 games? 2 teams.
Yeah. So those two teams probably.
But the Steelers played a first-place schedule, and the Ravens played a second-place schedule. Because it's all based on what you did the year before.
Yes, I know, but I just don't think the Steelers are as good as everyone says they are. I think they're overrated.
I agree.
And I think the Baltimore Ravens would go farther in the long run.
Lamar Jackson carrying that team.
Yes, because Ben Roethlisberger is so good right now.
Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, Michael Crabtree, Willie Snead. I can't see that group winning a Super Bowl. They've
been playing well. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I never said they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, having a better chance at winning the Super Bowl than a Ben, Juju, Connor, and Antonio Brown team. And the Steelers' defense has been pretty decent. Pretty decent.
There's just too many glaring differences in the Steelers that I think the Ravens would have a better chance. Yes, but I don't see either of them even getting that close.
Yeah, we'll see. Going back to the Patriots, though, I don't know, man. I think this affects them. I think Hogan's a good player, and he'll have to step up, but then they're going to rely on guys like Cordarrelle Patterson to have more of an impact than he's had. And yeah, we've seen him play running back in weird times. We've seen the Patriots do things because they have Belichick. You're right. They have Brady. But this team looks just not very explosive on offense. That's the problem for me, is that Josh Gordon did give them the ability to kind of hit a deep ball, or at least the threat. Gronk doesn't look like he's that guy anymore. Gronk looks like he's more of a possession receiver. He doesn't look like he has the ability to get down the field like he has in previous years. And I don't know, man. I feel like the Patriots have less of a chance of winning the Super Bowl than the Steelers do. I know that sounds weird to say out loud, but...
And you said you would slap me about Baltimore.
Yeah. I mean, what about the Patriots offense has you thinking that they could go somewhere and score 24 points?
Like Sony Michel has been playing extremely well. It's the Patriots, man. The playoffs are different than the regular season.
Scored, 10? They lose to the Dolphins.
I don't know how I can make this any more clear that Belichick, when it comes to the playoffs, knows how to win, and that's all that matters. I don't care how they played in the regular season. It all matters when the playoffs.
But it matters.
I'm sorry. There's been teams that go like the New York Giants, for example. They go 9-7 one year, make the playoffs. They look terrible in the regular season.
They didn't look terrible, though. They didn't look terrible. That is a common misconception.
You're a common misconception.
They went on a crazy win streak to win their division, make the playoffs, and then win the Super Bowl. They had the best, other than the team that they played in the Super Bowl, they had the longest winning streak in the NFL. That's the thing, is that, yes, the regular season doesn't matter in terms of what your record was, but it matters in how you played. It matters in momentum building for sure.
Well, I'm disagreeing with you on that one. But the fact of the matter is...
I'm not a common misconception. You're wrong about that.
It was a joke.
I know.
Okay.
But your joke was wrong.
Are jokes ever right?
They can be. They should be. The best ones are.
Shut up.
They're right, but they're funny, right? Like, that's part of the reason why things are funny, because it's true.
Yeah, like your face.
Yes, my face is true.
And funny.
Thank you. That's a little weird to say, but...
You were forgetting about the funny part, but whatever.
I'm married.
I don't care. I'm not even... I'm straight anyways.
Are you?
Yeah, whatever. Shut up. Anyways.
Talk about Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah, he's getting benched.
He's getting shut down.
For a Old Dominion undrafted rookie. Not rookie. Is he a rookie?
Taylor Heineke. Taylor, don't call me Heineke because there's no E and no N on the end, but everything else is spelled the same.
Yeah.
He's not a rookie, though. He's been on a couple of different practice squads. He was drafted by, or not drafted, but signed as an undrafted free agent by the Vikings. He was also a Patriots practice squad player. It looked like he was on their team for 2 weeks last year. I think he was a camp arm because he was picked up in August or September and then cut before the season started. So I think he was a camp arm, a preseason player. He's got 46 passing yards in his NFL career. I don't know what to expect about this undrafted quarterback from Old Dominion, but apparently he's got pretty stout college numbers, which I found interesting.
Well, look at the college he went to, though. I think that's
ODU, man. ODU. What is their mascot?
I believe it's a lion or a tiger or a bear. Oh my! I think it's a lion, though. Their logo looks like a lion.
Monarchs. Yeah, it is a lion. It's a lion with a crown, which is kind of redundant, but anyways.
Is that redundant?
Yeah, because, King of the Jungle, like, we already knew. Anyways.
Okay. Well, so Cam Newton, you think he's overrated?
Oh, yeah.
You don't like him?
I like him. I mean, I don't dislike him. I don't know the man personally.
Well, you dislike his playing. You think he's overrated?
I think he's overrated. I think if you think he's a top 10 to 12 starting quarterback, then you have overrated him. Yes.
But that's your opinion. Some people would put him in the top 10 still.
Absolutely. A lot of people would.
You're not always right, my friend.
A lot of people would put him in the top 10, which is crazy, but hey, everybody's got an opinion.
You know what's crazy? That you think you're always right.
I am right most of the time. Like LeVar Ball.
Don't get me started on that guy. Well, the thing is, we know that this is probably the right move because they're out of the playoffs. Well, they actually do still have a chance to make the playoffs. They have like a less than 1% chance, but still, it's probably not going to happen. Well, I guess we'll see how this kid does, this Old Dominion does.
Taylor Heineke.
I think maybe he can throw 7 picks in one half like someone we know that got signed recently.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Nathan Peterman got signed to the Raiders. Let's just really briefly talk about how odd that is because I thought he wouldn't be picked up until off-season tough, but he got picked up faster than anyone thought. I think some people thought he would never get signed.
What if Taylor Heineke lights it up? What if he just does kind of well?
Cam Newton's still getting the starting job.
Oh,
it's gonna be like a Matt Flynn. It's gonna be like a Matt Flynn type of situation.
I know that they're married to Cam Newton.
It's gonna be a Matt Flynn type of situation. You know what I mean? It's like he does so well. He's gonna get signed big time to another team, thinking he's this big tough, this big up and comer. When in reality, he might be fool's gold.
Kind of like Cam Newton in a way.
Well, Cam Newton won a Heisman Trophy, so I wouldn't say he was fool's.
And an MVP.
And he took his team to 15-1, so he's not really fool's.
And then he made that decision in the Super Bowl not to dive for a fumble, which is weird.
Well, okay. Well, we can discuss that in a completely different time, but we'll take a short break right now. And you have something to say before we take a break, don't you?
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
I do have something to say. And what I'm saying is you should listen more, Jeff. And how can you listen more? With Audible. Audiobooks inspire us, motivate us, and bring us closer. And there's no better place to listen than with Audible. Get your first audiobook free along with 2 selected Audible original titles and exclusive fitness programs when you start a 30-day trial. So take the time to listen. On Audible, just visit audible.com/GSMCbook or text GSMCbook to 500-500. Go to audible.com/GSMCbook or text GSMCbook to 500-500 to get started today.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington.
Welcome back to the GSMC Football Podcast. So, we talked about Cam Newton, we talked about Nathan Peterman, we talked about Josh Gordon. Now we're going into the Pro Bowl selections. So, do you want to read them off or do you want me to read them off?
Go ahead.
Well, okay. Well, let me pull them up real quick first. But say that I do know that Andrew Luck and Alvin Kamara both got snubbed from the Pro Bowl selection. Do you agree with that, yes or no?
I think when you hear that Alvin Kamara got snubbed, it might take you aback. But when you look at who was voted in over him, I don't think there's a problem at all.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Luck for sure got snubbed. And Tom Brady for sure got put in because he's Tom Brady and not because of the numbers.
Okay. Well, I will read off. Obviously, for the AFC, Patrick Mahomes was the first, is the starting quarter. I'll say the starters. How about that? I think that's fair. The starters are Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, James Conner at running back, Anthony Sherman at fullback for the Chiefs, DeAndre Hopkins and Tyreek Hill are both the starters for the wide receiver position. Any doubts on those so far?
No, so far so good.
Yes. And Travis Kelce at tight end, you agree with that totally. Do you want to talk about the offensive line?
Sure.
Tyler Luan from the Titans. Villanueva from the Steelers. David DeCastro for the Steelers again. Marshall Yonde for the Ravens. And another Steeler, Marquise Pouncey. So they have 3 offensive linemen that are Steelers.
See, that's a team that can win the Super Bowl right there, man.
I don't know. Maybe that's why James Conner had such a good season.
Yeah, that offensive line is pretty good.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's that. Whatever. J.J. Watt at defensive end. I think that's obvious.
Yes.
Myles Garrett got a bid for Pro Bowl at defensive end too on the opposite side. Do you agree with that? Geno Atkins at interior lineman.
Yeah, no problems.
Jarrell Casey for the Titans at interior lineman. Von Miller, linebacker. Clowney, linebacker. C.J. Mosley, inside linebacker. Xavier Howard, corner. Jalen Ramsey, corner, yes. Derwin James, free safety for the Chargers, I agree. And the rest are just backups. But now we go to the starters of the NFC. Drew Brees, obvious choice. Todd Gurley, obvious choice. I always get this wrong. He's the fullback for the 49ers. Kyle Juszczyk, thank you. Who is arguably, in my opinion, the best fullback in the NFL. Julio Jones, I think that's obvious. Michael Thomas, okay. I can see that. Zach Ertz at tight end. And the opposite side of him on the tight end mark is George Kittle, who had probably he obviously had his best season, and I can see many more of strength seasons for George Kittle to come. And one of the most entertaining guys you see in press conferences is he wears Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirts. Always. As a wrestling fan, I get a kick out of that. Tyron Smith, offensive tackle for the Cowboys. Taron Armstead, offensive tackle for the Saints. Zach Martin, a guard for the Cowboys. I think he's just been there every single year. Brandon Brooks, a guard for the Eagles. Alex Mack, a center for the Falcons. Cameron Jordan, defensive end for the Saints. DeMarcus Lawrence, defensive end for the Cowboys. And obvious Aaron Donald for the Rams. Fletcher Cox. Any questions about Fletcher Cox?
Nope.
Okay. Khalil Mack, linebacker. I think that was duh. Ryan Kerrigan for the Redskins. Luke, I'm so bad at these names. Thank you, for the Panthers. Kyle Fuller for the Bears. I agree with that one 100%. Patrick Peterson. That one I have my doubts on because just how the Cardinals have been playing it all together, like a team that's only 3 wins. But yeah, he had a pretty good season, all things considered.
The Cardinals' pass defense has been one of the best.
Yeah, but it just doesn't really show, does it?
I mean, their offense is just bad.
Yeah.
It's 2 sides.
Yeah. Eddie Jackson, free safety for the Bears. Landon Collins, the safety for the Giants. I can see that one too. And the rest are just special teams. So do you see anyone missing out on the starting lineup that you think should be the starters?
I don't really care about that, just in terms of...
I can read the backups as well.
Who didn't make it? Christian McCaffrey.
You are a big Christian McCaffrey fan.
I'm just surprised. I mean, not surprised, but I think he's had a great season. I don't know if I'd necessarily put him in there. I'm just saying that it's tough for him to have this good of a season this year.
Do you want me to read the backups?
Go ahead.
Okay, so we got for quarterback for the AFC, we've got Phillip Rivers and Tom Brady. Phillip Rivers, I 100% agree with. Tom Brady, I have my doubts with.
Yeah, Andrew Luck should be in over Tom Brady for sure.
I agree with that. Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon got the backups. I agree with those two.
Philip Lindsay, the first ever undrafted rookie.
He definitely deserves
Pro
it.
Bowl.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, he's had a great
Melvin
year.
Gordon has a great year also. I think that's I agree with also. Any running backs in the AFC you think got snubbed? I can't think of any.
Well, a guy like Kareem Hunt would be well on his way if he didn't get in trouble.
I think he would have been in there regardless.
So who's
if he would have been in there if he
again?
wasn't. James Conner. Maybe Melvin Gordon should have gotten
Joe
the start.
Mixon had a good year. He might be right on the outside looking in.
He's probably an alternate.
Let's see. The players that come to mind.
Marlon Mack?
Yeah, he missed some time.
Honestly, if it was for the last 2 games, Derrick Henry would be on this list. If his 2 games were as good as the rest of the season. Honestly,
I think that's pretty good.
I could see
Nick
Derrick
Chubb would have made it too if he played a full season.
Yeah, I can see Derrick Henry getting Pro Bowl next year if he keeps playing like how he's been playing.
Yeah, I would take the under on that.
Antonio Brown is a backup, as well as Keenan Allen. I agree with both of those.
That.
DeAndre Hopkins and Tyreek Hill just had unbelievable seasons, so you got to put them above them. And Eric Ebron got the next tight end list for the AFC.
After Kelsey. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I don't really... Jared Cook, I guess, could have an argument for the Raiders. Mm-hmm. He had a really good season, too, but sometimes when you're on bad teams, like, you get snubbed a little bit.
Absolutely. Defensive side behind J.J. Watt is Melvin Ingram, which I completely agree with. Mm-hmm. And behind Myles Garrett as well. Behind Geno Atkins and Jarrell Casey are Cameron Howard of Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. The outside linebacker behind Miller and Clowney is D. Ford from Kansas City, which is actually quite surprising to see a Kansas City Chiefs defensive guy because that was one of their biggest weak points.
Yeah, they rushed the passer, though.
Mm-hmm. But, of course, secondary is one of the things that many people see as their biggest hole. Behind Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard are Stephon Gilmore. I agree. Mm-hmm. And Denzel Ward, which I 100% agree with. I think he had a fantastic year for a rookie. I could see him getting Defensive Rookie of the Year, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. He has had a really good year.
Mm-hmm. And behind Derwin James at free safety is Eric Whittle.
Yeah, he's been a guy who's made plenty of Pro Bowls, too.
Mm-hmm. As for the backups for the NFC, we have Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers as quarterbacks. Which, do you have anything about that?
I don't know about Aaron Rodgers.
I agree.
So here's the thing. I think Russell Wilson's been really good, but the numbers aren't going to say that because he's in a running offense, but he still makes plays. So I get it. Aaron Rodgers is he's the guy that you pencil in every year for a Pro Bowl, so I understand.
It's the name, not the play.
Yeah, I understand. As for Goff, he's had a great season up until the last, couple games.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways.
Moving on.
Yeah, other than that, there were some snubs, though, for sure. McCaffrey and Kamara, again, I don't know if these guys
But
are
here
snubs,
are
though.
the backups. Let me read you the backups first. Mm-hmm. Saquon Barkley, I think, deserves it. And Ezekiel Elliott, who probably does his job as well.
They're not snubs, per se.
I might
just
put McCaffrey over Elliott, though.
Elliott's numbers are too big.
I agree that his numbers were good. I would just say that, man, I don't know. I feel like McCaffrey was I know they're all big impacts to their team.
Read me McCaffrey's numbers. I'll read you Ezekiel's.
I don't have it. I have the Pro Bowl list up. I have to go find his numbers.
All right. Well, I'll tell you Ezekiel's numbers.
Okay.
1,349 yards, 6 touchdowns, 72 receptions for 540 yards, 3 touchdowns receiving.
So he has let's see.
McCaffrey has a lot of numbers. He doesn't leave the field. That's for damn sure. He does not ever leave the field.
Yes,
he's played 98% of the snaps.
For 2018, he has 979 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. And let's see, find receiving, if I can find it here.
Mm-hmm. That's where his bread and butter is.
Yes. Where is the total? This is confusing. Oh, here we go. He has a total of Oh, it's a total. Oh no, rushing is 979, and his receiving is 768 with 6 touchdowns.
So he
there.
has less yards and less touchdowns than Elliott.
Actually, combined, he has more.
I don't believe so.
7, 6, 13 touchdowns total.
So hold on, let's do yardage real quick.
768 plus 979. So let me type that in.
That's 1,600. Ezekiel Elliott has 1,900 scrimmage yards.
Okay.
He has 9 touchdowns.
Total.
Mm-hmm.
So McCaffrey has more touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the age-old question, what's more important, touchdowns or yards?
But is McCaffrey more important to his team than Elliott is to his?
Well, McCaffrey's on the field more than, so maybe that's the case.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if you could put him over Elliott, but McCaffrey's had a great season, and so has Alvin Kamara.
I honestly have never been the biggest supporter of Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, but his numbers speak for themselves.
Yes, they do. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying maybe there's more to it than maybe. I don't know. But back to the list.
They both have a lot more scrimmage yards than Kamara, that's for sure. Kamara, though, has 16 touchdowns.
But people are crying foul about that one.
Kamara has 16 touchdowns.
That's where
big.
where the snub is the big factor. 16 is a lot of touchdowns. He is a touchdown machine. But okay, moving on from the running backs, wide receivers, behind who was it? It was behind this freaking found it. Back behind Julio Jones and Michael Thomas is Adam Thielen and Devontae Adams, which makes sense. Anyone else you can say can go up there?
For receivers?
Oh, you know who receivers we should say for the AFC the guy that got subbed is Juju. Juju definitely did get subbed.
Yeah. I wouldn't put him in over Antonio, but, I mean, man, it's hard to say.
They had kind of similar stats, didn't they?
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. But back to the NFC.
You got to give it to him, though. Like, Antonio Brown, like, let's put it this way. They had similar numbers, but Antonio Brown is always going to be the focus of the defense. Like, always. He's always going to be the person that they try and take away. So it's like Juju will always get the easier coverage of the two. Like, if you shadow a receiver, it's going to be Antonio. If you put a safety over the top, it's Antonio. And I think that really helps Juju. Obviously, they complement each other very well.
All right. Now moving to NFC wide receivers. Who do you think got any snubs there?
NFC wide receivers? You said...
Adam Thielen and Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas.
No, those are your best four.
Oh.
Maybe Stephon Diggs after that. But...
I was thinking Diggs also. And let's see, NFC. It's tough to say because there's a lot of injuries in the wide receivers side of this year.
Maybe Robert Woods.
Maybe, but that's stretching it. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know about wide receiver on the NFC side. I think they pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, for the interior linemen defensively behind Donald and Cox is Akeem Hicks from the Bears.
Yeah, DeForest Buckner got snubbed. One of the biggest snubs.
Yeah, but I understand why they're in front of him.
More tackles, more sacks, just more tackles for losses, like than Akeem Hicks and Fletcher Cox. But Fletcher Cox is kind of a legacy player, and Akeem Hicks plays on one of the best defenses and is a great player in his own right. So I get it.
Behind Khalil Mack and Ryan Kerrigan for linebacker, outside linebacker, it's Anthony Barr of Minnesota.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The AFC, there's
the
a big
backup
snub.
inside linebacker is Bobby Wagner.
I
can see that. And
the AFC's got the biggest snub for linebacker, Darius Leonard.
I have a big snub for corner. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but behind Kyle Fuller, Patrick Peterson, and Darius Slay and Byron Jones is Richard Sherman. I know he doesn't have statistically a great season, but no one's throwing him the ball. Like, I watch on Red Zone all the time, and every time there's a touchdown against the 49ers, Richard Sherman had nothing to do with it because he's covering his guy like glue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been some plays against him, but he's been really good.
He has one of the least. He has the least thrown 2 balls in the league. I think he's one of the top 3 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he got.
I think the players that made it over him are deserving, though.
Yeah.
But Leighton Vander Esch for the Cowboys, I think, has an argument to be in over Wagner or Kuechly. But Wagner and Kuechly are guys they have names. Like, they're big names. They put up numbers, too. But Darius Leonard in the AFC, he's the leading tackler. He has 7 sacks.
Oh, I didn't say the snub. I didn't say to replace him. But
Darius Leonard is a snub. Darius Leonard is maybe the biggest snub of everyone who's been on the left out.
Well, the thing is, the Pro Bowl has always been fan voting. That's always controversial because if some people don't, it's a casual viewer thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think it should be maybe
he
coaches.
Has 20 more tackles than any other player in the NFL.
Don't you think it should be a coach's vote for who's in the Pro Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I see it. At least it should be the coaches who think are the Pro Bowlers, not the fan base, because then that's just a popularity contest. It's not based on off talent.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my personal opinion.
Gotcha.
But anything else you want to talk about the Pro Bowl wise? Do you think you're gonna watch it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I'll watch it if I don't have any other plans. I don't go out of my way to watch it, though. I usually just will catch highlights or flip it back and forth.
think it's like a coincidence almost that it's like on television, It's like, oh, look at that. It's on TV. Let's watch it,
Yeah, I'm not going out of my way. Like, if there's something better going on, I'm not saying, like, oh, I'm going to stay in watch the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. It's like, oh, honey, let's go to dinner. No, the Pro Bowl's on. You're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we have to take a short break because we're talking about Pro Bowl for a while. But let me ask you something. What would it be like if we all listen more? Probably better, you're right. Listening to audiobooks inspires us, motivates us, and even brings us closer. And there's no better place to listen than Audible. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet. And now Audible members get more than ever before. Each month they get 3 titles of their choice. An audiobook, 2 Audible originals, and fitness programs they can't get anywhere else. There's never been a better time to experience Audible. Try it free for 30 days by visiting audible.com/GSMCbook or texting the code GSMCbook to 500-500. Once again, it's GSMCbook to 500-500 or go to audible.com/GSMCbook. Try it free for 30 days and get this great deal now.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington Times.
Welcome back, everyone, to the GSMC Football Podcast. We finished talking about the Pro Bowl selections, who got snubbed and who's not snubbed. So now we're going on to me and Mark's power rankings for the NFL. We're doing it a little differently this time. Our top 10, no longer bottom 5 because those are obvious. Mm-hmm. So our top 10, who is your number 10?
How do you want to do this? One each, or do you want to go maybe like 10 and 9 and then 8 and 7, something like that?
We'll say the first 5 real quick and just react.
Number 10, I have Seattle Seahawks.
Okay. The Seahawks are 8-6, so that makes sense.
Yeah, they should be the 5th seed for the playoffs. I think they will. They'll probably. I don't know if they'll win or lose their first game. I could see them potentially matching up with the Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs, which would be a very intriguing matchup.
I also have the Seahawks, by the way. So
You have Seattle at 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I could see them potentially matching up with the Cowboys, which would be a very interesting game, a very winnable game.
That's my number 9.
The Cowboys?
Yeah.
Okay, tell everybody why.
Well, 8-6 speaks for itself, and just getting shut out, that gave me a big concern. I know everyone's like, "Oh, it's just one game," but I don't know, that concerned me in some ways because that was a playoff contender team in the Colts, and they had all their players in. There was no main injuries or anything like that. This team just didn't score, so that was just my main concern. But I'm sure they'll bounce back.
I have the Colts as my number 9.
Okay.
Actually, I don't have the Cowboys in my top 10 because I just don't feel like they're better than Seattle or Indianapolis, to be honest with you. Like, if they played on a neutral field.
Indianapolis is my number 8.
So, interesting. That means you for sure have somebody out that I have in the top, probably 6. Anyways,
out of my top 10?
Probably out of my top 6, because we'll get to it later. But anyways,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You think the Cowboys are better than the Colts? I mean, you have them higher, so.
I have the Colts ahead of the Cowboys.
Sorry, Cowboys higher than Seattle, excuse me.
You know what? Yeah, I think they're a little more complete team.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I see. I know
There's a good chance they're going to play, so we might get this figured out quick.
Yeah. But
right.
they're pretty even, all things considered.
So 10, I have Seattle. 9, Colts. You have Seattle and then Dallas. And then you have the Colts at 8.
7 for me, is Pittsburgh.
So 8 is Colts for you. Let me write this down.
Okay.
So you got Seattle. You got
Dallas.
Then
I have
Colts.
And then I have Pittsburgh.
Steelers. Okay, so Colts 8, Steelers 7.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Patriots 8 and the Steelers 7. So
Okay.
a little bit different. Patriots, they don't look like a top 5 team to me. I'm sure they'll surprise everybody or not surprise everybody and just win the Super Bowl, of course, like they always seem to do, or at least get there because they've played now 7 consecutive AFC championship games. But man, even before this loss,
if it was the 7 consecutive Super Bowls, we would think this is like the Warriors. You know what I mean?
Even with the loss of Gordon, like, man, they just look like they're missing something, some key ingredient. So I have the Steelers slightly ahead of them just because, I mean, we talked about it. The Steelers seem to have more talent around them. Yeah, it's been Brady argument, but I think that argument's closer than ever. And we just saw the Steelers beat the Patriots. The Patriots looked really bad in that game. I don't know. Something rubbed me the wrong way with how they lost, not that they lost. But, that's my 8 and 7. So who's your number 6?
See, I was debating whether to put the Ravens here, but they were in like my bottom 10. So for my number 6...
Wait, what?
I was debating about the Ravens and wouldn't put them on my list.
But they were in your bottom 10?
No. Like the bottom of the 10.
Oh, okay.
Like 10, 8, or 9.
So who do you got 6?
See, this is where it gets tough, but I have to gotta put the Patriots at number 6.
Okay.
They're not the same team.
Mm-hmm. They certainly don't look like it.
Mm-hmm.
I have Houston as my number 6.
Okay.
Right outside the top 5. Certainly a team that can get in the top 5. Their arrow is pointing up. I am a little bit worried just because I don't know how this team will react in a playoff situation. But I could say after this week, they could be in my top 3 after this week, depending on what happens.
Absolutely.
In this week.
They're my number 5, by the way.
All right, so they're your number 5. Okay.
Yes. And I love that team. I think it's really good. Like Hopkins has someone that can throw him the ball instead of a Savage or a
Man, who
Osweiler.
do you have missing that I have? There's a team that I have that has to be in my top 5 that you don't even have in your top 10.
I might have left them out. I'm not sure, but
my number 5 is the Chiefs.
Okay.
Team is different. They're just different. Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill's been banged up. They just look more vulnerable than they have at any point.
I'm not going to lie, I might have miscounted.
So the Chiefs are my number 5.
Number 5, huh?
So who's your? You said number 5 is Patriots for you?
No,
Or
number
Texans?
6 is
All right,
Patriots.
who's your number 4
5.
now?
I got to give myself to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, they're my number 4 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay, so the Bears are both of our number 4. Again, a team that definitely has the ability to go up.
I'll just tell you my number 1.
Hold on.
Okay.
Who's your number 3?
Okay, now this is where it gets difficult. Because there's 4 teams that I think are great, but I had to leave one out.
Mm-hmm.
And so my number 3
Is
the Rams.
also mine.
Okay. Well, I think we both agree with just how they played on Sunday night.
They've looked bad the last couple weeks.
Yes. And they lost 2 straight.
Who's your number 2?
The Saints.
Mine's the Chargers.
My number 1 is the Chargers.
Okay. So we have number 1 and number 2 flipped.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they were pretty close at the end. I thought, where did you put the Chiefs at?
Huh.
You didn't put the Chiefs in there.
I don't think I did. Huh. I forgot about them.
So where would you put the Chiefs now, or would you still have them out of your top 10?
I'd probably replace them with...
Like if you had to slot them, obviously everybody gets bumped down one, right? Like,
Yeah.
Where would you put them in? Behind or in front of who?
I'll put them in front of the Steelers.
So they would be your number... Where's Steelers on your 7?
They're number 7, so
the
they'd
Chiefs
be...
would be your number 6.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, I got Chargers 2, Saints 1.
Yeah.
But that could change.
But I just think the Chargers are the hottest team in football right now. I think they're 1-4 straight. They look like a complete team. I think we can both agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. They look very balanced.
And a lot of people said the Chargers in the Super Bowl this year predicted that. I was like, I didn't see it at first. But seeing them play, this team has a great defense. Phillip Rivers is playing some of his best, maybe his best football. Melvin Gordon is a beast in himself. I know he's coming in and out with injuries, but he's still a threat.
With them. 2 concerns with them.
What are your concerns?
A lack of a home field advantage in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And Rivers has a lack of postseason success. Those are my 2, I want to believe in the Chargers, and I agree with you. When you look at this team, offense, defense, very
There's
balanced
no holes,
team.
it feels like.
Very balanced team. Maybe the most balanced team. But a lack of that home field advantage where, you look at a team like the Saints where, man, it's going to be really hard to beat them in their stadium. And then you look at a quarterback like Breeze or another quarterback, maybe like Brady, and it's these guys, they've played in a lot of games.
The thing is, they have the Chargers are 11-3 without this home field advantage.
Yeah, sure.
You could say they've won 11 games on the road, arguably.
Absolutely. But it does make a difference in the playoffs.
Oh, I'm 100% agree with you on that, but I'm saying they know how to play away. A lot of their big-time games they've won have been away.
Mm-hmm. Big time, especially the Steelers win.
Yeah. That one was probably the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
Even against Chiefs at Arrowhead.
Yes.
That one was probably one of the wins I put them at number 1 because,
can't believe you forgot about the Chiefs. You forgot about the Chiefs?
Well, you reminded me of them, and I put them at number 6. I don't put them in my top 5.
They've been number 1 for you at some point, though.
Oh, they were the best team in football in my mind, but I just something
Dang.
obviously
they really felt forgot.
Well,
about
Kareem Hunt losing was a huge deal. This injury bug that's been with their best players like Tyreek Hill is a huge issue.
Damian Williams had a huge game for the Chiefs last week.
But it's not the same.
Maybe, yeah.
When it comes to playoff time, this team is beat up, and that's not good. That's why I put them so low.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the biggest deal right now is this Andy Reid's curse is no longer everyone playing down to the opponent's level. It's just people can't stay healthy or can't abuse women.
Right.
So, unfortunately, that's just the case in this scenario. It's just bad luck. Mm-hmm. And right now, the Chargers are healthy. I know Melvin Gordon is not the healthiest, but everyone else is playing at a healthy level.
Right.
And I can't.
Keenan Allen is banged up.
But he's still playing very well. And they're probably going to rest him until the playoffs. They're fine. Even without him, they're fine.
They need to win, though.
Yeah. But
it's a big deal for them to win the division. But winning this division
But hear
means,
me out.
Hold on.
Okay.
Winning this division means getting a bye and home field advantage. Even if that home field advantage isn't great for them, it still gives them the advantage of not having to play on the road, which is a bigger disadvantage.
True.
So,
but I'm saying
I don't think they're resting Melvin Gordon. These games are playoff games for the Chargers starting right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, even with Keenan Allen hurt, Mike Williams came out and took his place, like, kind of.
We're going to see the Chargers and Ravens play this week. That'll be a fun game to watch.
And we are forgetting about a huge factor, and I know he's not as good as he used to be, but Antonio Gates is still a factor.
Mm-hmm. Antonio
Gates is still a deadly tight end, in my opinion. He's at the end of his career, absolutely, but he's still a factor.
He's just a guy at this point, though.
I think he's a little bit more than that.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that wasn't going to be on their team until Hunter Henry got hurt, right?
Oh, to Stephen A. Smith, he's still playing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Gates can score a touchdown every now and then, but I mean, he's so slow on the field nowadays. Like, he doesn't. Like, yeah, he's a security blanket, but they can't win if he's their number one or number two option.
Oh, he can't be, but he's still, like, as a security blanket is still an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm surprised you didn't have the Ravens in your top 10.
I had them late. Didn't I? I had them below the.
I don't have them in your top 6.
Whoops! Did I forget to mention them?
You had Seattle, Dallas, Colts.
Scratch out Seattle and put in Baltimore.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't believe you forgot about them, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on them, but when it comes to playoffs, I don't see them getting very far.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It's their defense that's great, no doubt about it, but there's so many powerful offenses, they can't handle them all, especially in the AFC.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got to take a break.
All right, when we take a break, we'll get back. We'll talk about anything else that needs to be talked about in the NFL or anything college football-wise. We'll be right back right after this.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts. Past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Football Podcast. We're on our final stretch, on the final segment. We did our power rankings. We did our Pro Bowl selecting who got snubbed, who didn't get snubbed. And also we talked about the Josh Gordon incident as well as Cam Newton's no longer a quarterback right now. He's getting set out. But what are the other news we have on tap today,
Keenan
Mark?
Allen is expected to play against the Ravens this Saturday.
Right. There's games instead of games on Thursdays, there's games on Saturdays.
That's
the Thursday
a big
night
game,
games,
man, and it's probably the game of the week, and it's on Saturday, so that's gonna be fun.
But the big thing is Thursday night games were no longer here. That's why we're not previewing any Thursday night games because there are none to talk about. But there is a bowl game today.
Oh God, not a bowl game.
Yes.
Which awesome bowl is this?
Oh well, I will gladly tell you.
It's like the Bay Mowers or something Mowers or.
What are you talking about? It's the Gasparilla Bowl.
Yeah, but what is it called? What is the full name of this bowl?
I have to look that one up, but I just know
it's like the Bay Mowers Gasparilla Bowl.
It's the, let's see. Why doesn't it show me its full name? That's frustrating. Thanks, Bleacher Report.
It's the
ball. Oh wait, you're actually kind of right. It's the it's the Bad Boy
Mowers.
Bad Boy Motors. Yes, okay, it looks like BG because their logo sucks. Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl. Yes. And with two swords for some reason. I think because it's in Tampa. That's my guess. At least. It is Tampa. Okay. That makes
Marshall
sense.
in South Florida.
And I've only had one loss in my bowl picks.
How many is that? 6 or 7?
I believe that's 7-1. 6-1. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty good. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm 6-1.
There's been 7 games.
Yes, that's
All
pretty
right,
good.
and you have who tonight?
I have South Florida in this one.
They
have a balanced offense. Marshall has a big, deep running attack, so I'm going to go South Florida on this one.
They're playing at home. That's not fair. You're taking the home team.
I didn't even think of that until you said it. I didn't even know they were playing in Tampa.
Marshall, man. We are Marshall.
Everyone just knows him from the movie. I know it's a great movie, and it's a...
What about Randy Moss?
I
I
did come out
remember
of
him
Marshall.
tearing it up at Marshall. That was fun.
Yeah.
On that turf.
Then he got in
Those
trouble
green.
with the law.
And then the Cowboys passed on him, and he ended up being one of the legends.
He got PO'd about that. But
so you got South Florida.
I do have South
The
Florida.
Bulls.
Yes.
So
They were ranked at one point this year.
Patrick Mahomes signed an endorsement with Hunt's ketchup because he loves ketchup on his steaks.
That's disgusting. He likes it on he put it on his mac and cheese, I think, too. That's so gross.
Mac and cheese with ketchup. If you're one of those people that does that, please remove yourself from any holiday party that you attend of mine. If you put ketchup on mac and cheese in front of me, I will definitely throw up.
Yeah, I would ask you to leave my house and never come back. Ever again. Like, ever.
So Tua, the quarterback from Alabama, he had surgery on a high sprained ankle.
It must have been very high.
Is that weird, though, to have a surgery procedure done
Well,
on a sprained
if the
ankle?
doctor accepted the fact that I need surgery, then yeah.
Seems weird. Now that we have what, 10 days before they step foot on the field against Oklahoma? Is that right?
Yeah.
Jan 1, right? New Year's? So, he says that he's going to be fully back to normal here in the next few days. What do you think about that? I think he got surgery like last week. I don't remember, but he says he will be 100% for sure. What do you think? Will this affect him?
Let's face it, probably not.
Does it change the way that you feel about this game going? I know they have a capable backup, but does it change the way that you see this game?
I still think they're the better team.
Oklahoma's going to win, aren't they?
No, they're not. Don't say that.
Why is that?
Because
You have a stake in this?
I picked Alabama.
It's just one bowl game, though.
But losing the college
So-
football playoff,
so when
that
you
means
do this-
I picked Alabama to win it all. So I would lose 2 out of...
So you already picked the championship game, even though you don't know who's playing in it?
You pick either the winner of one of the games plays
That's weird.
the winner of the other games.
And they're worth the same amount of points?
Correct.
What?
This is how you do it. You pick Alabama or Oklahoma.
It should be like
then
March
you
Madness.
pick Clemson or Notre Dame.
Right.
And then
I get it.
you pick either the
But
winner.
it should be
Let me
bonus.
finish.
But it should be bonus.
Then-
I know what you're saying. Everybody knows what you're going to say. You
Yeah.
pick the winner of the two. I get
Yes.
it. But shouldn't that be worth more than just the same as the
I'm not
Gasparilla
sure
Bowl?
if maybe the points add more. I'm not entirely positive.
Do you
but-
put a score on it too for like a tiebreaker or something?
Yes, I put the score as 40. I think I did 42-38.
42-38, and you have Bama over Clemson or Notre Dame.
Notre Dame,
Gotcha.
which I can see happening.
Clemson, Oklahoma. That's what your final will be.
Because I picked the opposite. Is that why?
Well, I mean, selfishly, I'm rooting for Notre Dame
Why selfishly?
because I like Notre Dame.
If you watch the movie Rudy, you like Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame will always be my college team.
God, it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
my college team is my alma mater.
Yeah.
So. Well, so you. Oh yeah, you go to Chico State. You don't have a sports team.
Chico State undefeated since 1987.
Yes, you haven't had played since 1987.
Way better than Arizona.
You haven't played since 1987.
Never lost.
Okay.
Just like LeVar Ball.
Yeah. You think that's why he says he's never lost because he's never played a one-on-one
8
game in his
feet
life?
tall.
Nice SNL reference. Anything else we should discuss?
C.J. Anderson was signed by the Rams, adding speculation that Todd Gurley may not play this week because they put Pharaoh Cooper, a Pro Bowl special teams player, a Pro Bowler from last year, on waivers to make this move to ensure that they'd have a quality or at least a veteran backup running back in case Gurley can't play. Adding, again, like I mentioned, speculation that he might not play because of his knee. We will see what happens. But the Cardinals, interestingly enough, picked up Farrah Cooper off of waivers, and that is their opponent this week. So Farrah Cooper will be on the sideline for Arizona.
Do you think it's a conspiracy?
I think the Cardinals actually see value in Cooper. I don't think they're picking him up to win this.
Well, he was
game.
you said Pro Bowler, correct?
Yeah, he was a Pro Bowler.
So
last
I
year
think that's
as a returner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you have a Pro Bowler on your name, it's like, okay, you had a good season. You
Wouldn't it be funny though? Like, think about this: if he returns the first kick of the game for Arizona, and like he had been with the Rams for the last couple of years,
he runs it the other way.
Kind of
gets confused.
Kind of sucks for him though. He loses his chance at winning a ring this year.
Well, is there? I know there's
I think
a rule.
he would get a ring if they won.
I think isn't there a rule
if
you play an X amount of games, you get a ring?
I think so, and he's been on the team the whole year until now. So
yeah,
that,
so I'm pretty sure
qualify.
he'll get a ring. I'm not. I know that's the rule for
Doesn't
baseball.
that suck, though?
I'm not sure if that's
he won't
the
get
rule
to play in
for
the
football.
postseason after he's played this whole year.
I would be a little pissed. I'll be like, "Are you kidding me?"
And then he goes and plays for the Cardinals.
The worst, officially the worst team in the NFL because they have the number 1 overall pick.
Probably the worst team. Yeah, probably.
Well, they have the number 1 overall pick, so technically they are the worst.
Yeah.
You could say other teams are worse. That's okay. Honestly, I think Jacksonville's probably worse.
Maybe.
They're
maybe.
pretty bad too. But
that's it.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us. Tune us in tomorrow. We'll preview every game for this Week 16, a very important Week 16 too. So we'll get right on that tomorrow, and we'll see you there.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.